Hey everyone, welcome to GrapplTech. In today's episode, we will dive deep into what Python really is by breaking its definition, word by word. So, by the end of this tutorial, you'll not only understand Python, but also how it fits into the world of programming. Okay, so let's get started. The very first basic question is, what is Python? Let us see a formal definition for it. Okay, so Python is a high level, interpreted, general purpose programming language known for its readability, simplicity, and versatility, which allows developers to write clear, logical code for small and large scale projects. Okay, so the definition looks somewhat complex, but don't worry. We will break down each and every word and we'll understand each and every word. Okay, so first off, Python is a high level language. So, but what does that mean? In simple terms, a high level language is closer to human language and farther from the machine code. Okay, so generally think of languages. When you want to speak to a person, to your friend, you need a language, right? Basically, we'll be speaking to others in English. We have many other languages as well. Like we have Japanese, we have Korean, we have Chinese, and we have Spanish, we have French. In this way, we have tons of languages available in order to communicate with others. Okay. In the same way, you want to speak to your computer. You want your computer to perform a task which is given by you. But will it be able to understand English? No. Our computers or our machines will be able to understand zeros and ones, and that's a machine code. But we as humans, we cannot write zeros and ones, like we cannot give our commands in zeros and ones, right? So we need a language which we can understand, we can write easily with a lot of comfort, and later that particular syntax or that particular instructions which we wrote can be converted into machine understandable language, that is zeros and ones. Okay, and this is done by a software or a program called as compiler or an interpreter. We will learn about this too in the coming sessions in depth. Okay, so at this moment what we have to think is, when you want your computer to perform a task, you don't have to write complex binary or assembly code. Instead, you can write in a more natural syntax. Okay, like if you want to print anything onto the console, you can just use something called as print, okay, in Python. And this command tells the computer to display a simple message without worrying about the intricate details of how it's done. Okay, so think of it like ordering food at a restaurant. You don't need to know how the chef prepares, you just place your order and it arrives. Okay, so that's a high level language. Next up, Python is an interpreted language. This means the Python code is executed line by line by an interpreter. Okay, like we have compiled languages like C, C++, or Java, where code is transformed into machine code before running. So Python directly executes the code you write. This makes it great for quick testing and debugging. Okay, so we have discussed, right, the language which you are writing, the instructions which you are writing is of high level language. It will consist more number of English words. Okay, so this has to be converted in zeros and ones, and that is done by a compiler or an interpreter. Okay, and we have told that Python is an interpreted language. So when it comes to interpreted language, the code will be executed line by line, whereas in compiled languages, the entire code will be executed into zeros and ones, that is your machine code at once. Suppose if you have any errors, it will not get executed. Okay, so it will throw an error in the compile time itself. Whereas in an interpreted language, it will execute, and later if you encounter an error at that particular point of time, your program gets halted. Okay, so you can imagine reading a book aloud. So you process and understand each word as you go. So that's how Python reads and executes your code. Okay, so that's about interpreted language. Now, what is this general purpose language? So Python is also a general purpose language. This means you can use Python for almost anything, whether it's web development or data analysis, machine learning, or even automation. Python has libraries and frameworks to support it. Okay, so it's like a Swiss Army knife in the programming world. If you want to build a website, you can use Flask or Django, which is provided by a Python. If you want to analyze some data, you can use something called as pandas or numpy. So the possibilities are endless. Okay, so Python is a general purpose language. That means you can build anything using Python. Next, we have seen that it is meant for readability, simplicity, and versatility. So, what do you mean by readability and simplicity? See, one of the biggest reasons Python is so popular is because it's known for its readability and simplicity. So, Python syntax is designed to be easy to read and even write. So, which means less time understanding the code and more time being productive. Okay, so you don't want to focus on the things why it is this, why this syntax is looking in this way. So it is more readable, right? You want to focus on the actual logic, so which makes you more productive. So notice how Python's code looks cleaner. So whenever if you see a Python code, it looks more cleaner, and even you can just read it like English. So this makes it an ideal language for beginners and experienced developers alike. So it's like reading a well-written instruction manual versus one filled with technical jargon. So when it comes to other languages. So that way you can say that Python is more readable and it is more simple. And what do you mean by versatility? So finally, Python's versatility is one of its strongest features. Okay, you can use it for small scripts or large scale projects across different domains. So it's like being able to use the same tool to build a small birdhouse or a full-sized house. So Python scales with you and your projects, making it suitable for both startups and enterprise level applications. Okay, so there you have Python is a high level interpreted language, general purpose language known for its readability, simplicity, and versatility. Now that you understand what makes Python so powerful, you're ready to start coding. And in the coming sessions, we will go through many coding sessions and we'll understand each and every topic in depth. Okay, so that's about this session. We understood the definition, the formal definition, and we have broken down the definition into smaller parts and we understood each word. So, what each word is meant by. So, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to GrapplTech. Stay tuned for more in depth tutorials, and remember, with Python, the possibilities are endless. Happy coding, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.